Hello, friends. Tom Downey here for Chat Sports Live from the College Football Playoff National Championship. I'm joined now by Rocket Ismail. Rocket, first off, congrats on the College Football Hall of Fame, man.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
What was your reaction when you found out?
Well, I think I was surprised, but then I was a little sad because you know, when you're younger and you win an award or something, and then you have like the excitement of bringing it home to your mom or your dad, and like, oh man, look what I won, and they were so proud of you that whole moment. My mom passed away a couple years ago, and it's like my mother and my father passed away, so it kind of felt like, oh, I don't have that. I don't have the opportunity to, like, hey, look at this. One more thing you can be proud of. Yeah. And, you know, as a dad, I know how it feels. You know, I have 4 children, and my wife and I, whenever they do anything that's significant or, you know, just it shows that they're headed in a productive and positive direction in their life.
That pride factor.
It's just like you feel great. So, you know, so that's why I felt sad anyway. I don't want to be downer. But, yeah, those are the dominant emotions.
Yeah. When you think back on your career with the Fighting Irish, what were some of your favorite moments or moments?
Favorite moment was the pregame rumble that we had my freshman year against Miami. Okay. And that was, like, I think that set the stage. When you talk about mental toughness, I mean, a lot of times you hear that term thrown around, but we don't know really how to, you know, sometimes put your finger on that. But that set the stage. That
turning point.
Yeah, man. It's just like, it's like fighting a bully, and you're afraid of him, but you fight him anyway, and then you figure out you have what it takes. So that was one. Our national championship freshman year was one. Man, it would be funny when we would play a game every year, and it would be hyped up as the game of the century, and we'd be like, well, wait, we played the game of the century last year. What kind of century are we living in? So, you know, those would be funny. It would be funny, the anticipation as a team that we would have, because at the time we would play like all of the top teams, and the inside the locker room kind of motivation was like, hey, this is going to be the Sports Illustrated game, so, you know, we got to step out with our best foot because we might get a chance to be on the Sports Illustrated. And, you know, if you're on Sports Illustrated, you get all the girls. You like that kind of mentality when you're in college and everything. And so, you know, those are just stuff like that that come to mind when I think about my college experience.
All right, how about professionally in the CFL, NFL? What were some of your favorite moments up there?
So in the CFL, my favorite moment was I didn't have a passport, and I remember going up to the customs thing, booth guy, and the security, there's a policeman behind there. He's looking at me, whatever, and I didn't have a driver's license either. So I remember looking behind his desk, and in the front page of the sports section of the newspaper, whatever in Toronto had, my picture was like, hey, Rocket's coming. I was like, man, I was like, hey, that's me right there. And then he's like, oh, okay, welcome to Canada. And so that was one. And then I remember, obviously this is before the world got crazy with airplane security and stuff like that. But I remember being in the terminal and checking in, I had my ticket and everything, and I don't know, I got distracted at one of the stores or something, buying some snacks or whatever, and so I come back to the terminal, the doggone plane, I see the plane is backing up, like onto the
tarmac, whatever.
Yeah, tarmac, that's what it called. Backing up. I was like, hey, I go, and the lady's like, oh, I'm like, I'm supposed to be on that plane, something. And the lady's like, well, sir, you know, with nothing we can. I was like, hey, I'm Rocket. Sometimes it's like, oh my God, okay. And so they called the pilot, and then the plane, back up, came back in, let me on. It was really embarrassing though, because all the people were like, who the heck is this guy? And so that was. Oh, I know it. Another cool time, I was talking to this young lady in the little seating area before you get on the plane. Okay. And so we were striking up a real good conversation. And so I was sitting in first class, and when we were going, and the flight attendant could see that we were like really having a good conversation. And so he was like, "Excuse me, sir, would you like me to bring the young lady up and she could sit up in first class with you?" I was like, "Oh yes, son, I'm balling." That's what. So like stuff like that. I mean, I know it's not football memories.
Those are great
we
stories, though.
We won a great cup my first year. It was really cool, man. Met a lot of good guys that I still know and talk to and love today. Man, so yeah, stuff like that. And then did you ask me NFL or was that my
NFL too? Yeah.
Okay, so NFL, I think what was my favorite memory, or the memory that stands out, was the first time we played in Kansas City, and the fear that I had because I was in the slot and I had to run a drag route, and Derek Thomas was like I couldn't believe how massive he was and just how big and athletic. He went to Alabama, right?
Yeah, I think so.
DT, he was there, and then Neil Smith was the D tackle, and like Albert Lewis, Dale Carter, we played against each other in college at Tennessee. But just the nervousness I had, I was kind of like, God, you think I never played football? That was a crazy moment. That was my first game with the Raiders when we went up to Kansas City. And then another crazy moment, the first time I was in the huddle with the Cowboys, and they still had the remnants of the big three, most of the O-line. You had Troy Emmett, Moose was back there, Mike was the other receiver, and we were playing the first game in Washington, and they had the new FedEx Field at the time, and it was a big deal in Dallas, and I had just signed as a free agent there, and we were losing, I think it was 21 points, we were losing by a lot going into the third quarter, or the third or fourth quarter, something like that. And like just being in that huddle, I was pinching myself like, man, this is so surreal, man. I used to hate all of these guys because I was a Steelers fan growing up, right? I was like, I despised Dallas. But then I found myself in the huddle like, how did this happen? And so then we ended up winning that game in overtime. I mean, it was crazy, man. So anyway, that was as far as moments go, that was one of them for the NFL for real.
All right, so you played with a couple different NFL teams, and producer Brett and I had different answers on this, but when you think back and reflect on your NFL career, which team do you most identify yourself with?
Well, because my last team was the Cowboys, and I live in Dallas, and they do, magnificent, like the demand in Dallas and just being affiliated with the Cowboys, the demand, like they can't meet the demand for players. And then so former players like myself, and I'm not even like a Super Bowl guy or anything, man, tons of stuff around the community, like during the season especially. But that being said, the Raiders and the Panthers, both, whenever I'm in that city or anything, I just got a care package from the Panthers from their new owner, man. Shout out to him. So I just want to say all of the teams do a great job of engaging their former players, but the Cowboys are the ones that I identified with most right now.
That was my answer, so I feel good about that one. All right, so one last question here for you. We'll keep it quick.
Okay.
Prediction tonight, Alabama-Clemson. Who you got and why?
Well, I said Alabama earlier, and when I say why, you need Alabama to beat them. You need like some extra superhero type of quarterback. One, now they have an elite level quarterback at Clemson, but I think you got to be like elite on some like Johnny Manziel type stuff to get with Alabama, and their quarterback is a little healthier, Tua, as far as Alabama's concerned. So a healthier version of him. Their running game is always superior. Defense is always superior.
Still Alabama.
Bam.
Yeah, there you go. All right, folks, Rocket Ismail, the latest College Football Hall of Fame member. Thanks for stopping by, my man.
Thank you, brother. Yes, sir.